pep talk time. Welcome to Kyera in My Pocket, where personal transformation gets intimate, raw, and uncensored. So do not say that I didn't warn you. I'm Kyera Kacey, founder of Liberate Her, an international best-selling author of Rich Bitch Money Goals, Becoming the Energetic Match to Wealth. I have coached thousands of women around the world using our 9 iconic rich bitch principles to change their lives, their businesses, and their bank accounts. So get ready for unfiltered stories, TMI moments, and the exact mindset and embodiment shifts that have helped me build a multi-7-figure empire. I am here to help you on your path to personal and professional success. So tune in, turn up, and let's fucking go. I got a pocket full of Kyera. Whoa. I couldn't help myself. Let's go. Okay. We've got Brendan back on, and per usual, I sent him a text message about 10 minutes ago and I said, hey, I'm going to go live and do a podcast about entities. You want to come on? He's like, yeah. Give me 2 minutes.
Absolutely. I'm the only person in Los Angeles to run out of a coffee shop to sprint to go do a podcast about entities. Sprinting out. Actually, I'm probably the third person today in Los Angeles to leave a coffee shop to talk about entities. I gotta talk about entities.
We have to talk about entities. And so Brendan, I was in Canada over the weekend and we were staying at this hotel room, Jenny and I, and like, we were supposed to share a room, and there are some things I'm really bougie with, and I like my space. And so I was like, do you guys happen to have another room with the conjoining doors? And like, yeah, no problem. So we go into my room first and I'm like, oh, hell no. Like I just felt off. Have you ever walked into a room and you're like, I don't know about this?
Yeah. Have you ever been to a Motel 6? The entire establishment. I don't want to tell you where I stayed during Dispenza, but yeah, that's fine.
Okay. So I go into this room and I just felt uncomfortable right away. And I'm like, I'm not going to say anything to Jenny because I don't want to scare her. So I just like keep it to myself. And then I go into her room. I'm like, yeah, her room definitely feels a little bit better. Like whatever. I'm like, I'm just going to push this to the back of my mind. I'm going to pretend everything's fine. So we go out to dinner, blah, blah, blah. We come back. And I'm in bed by 10 p.m. because I have to get up at 5. We have to be at this event by 7 in the morning. Like we had a huge day, right? So I'm like, I'm going to go to bed early. So I go to bed at 10. I wake up at 1 in the morning. I'm just completely awake. And I don't know why, because I'm not stressed. I'm really excited about the next day, but like, it's not like I was thinking about anything. So I'm like, you know what? Fuck it. I will do the body electric meditation. I'll go to bed after. So I'm in my hotel room 1 in the morning doing like super intense breath work. And eventually it's 3:00 now. It's now 3 in the morning. I'm like, okay, I'm done with this. I can now go to bed.
Yeah. Can you tell the listeners how long that meditation is? Because in their minds, they're like, oh, it's probably 15 minutes.
Yeah, no, this was like an hour and a half of meditating and doing intense breath work.
It's not a casual undertaking, y'all.
No, this was like an intense one. And I don't know, it's just the one I felt called to do. So it's 3 in the morning. I fall back asleep, but then I'm having like this terrifying out of body experience where it's like I'm watching, it's like it's real, but I'm still sleeping. But it's almost like I'm experiencing another reality, like it's happening. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, absolutely. Were you dreaming?
I wasn't dreaming. It's like I wasn't dreaming, but I wasn't awake. I don't even know how to describe this.
Yeah. I totally know what you mean, though. Yeah, for sure.
And the darkness that I felt, like this level of fear, I can only count this on 2 hands. Like I've experienced a lot of different energies. Some are good, some I'm like, I don't like this. But when it's like I literally would use the word evil. This is what it felt like. So I'm having this moment where this thing is like fucking around with me. Like it's trying to scare me. It's trying to get to me. And all of a sudden it's like, I hear Jenny and she's like, Kyera, come in my room. And I look in between, like the conjoining doors at the hotel. So I like look between in the crack and I can see her sitting at the door cross-legged and her eyes are rolled to the back of her head and all I see is it's like it's possessed her. And she's like, "Kyra, come in my room." And I was
Oh
like,
my god.
"Fuck, no." So I'm like, I'm trying to scream and nothing's coming out. Okay, so I eventually come to, my heart is racing. I'm soaked. I'm absolutely terrified. Mind you, so I immediately turn all the lights on and I'm like doing my Archangel Michael prayer. I'm like, I got to get the fuck out of here, you know? Mind you, my temperature in the room had dropped. When I went to bed, it was at 69. It had dropped to 65. I didn't
Mm.
do that. Okay. Coincidence? You could say that. I don't think it was. And so this energy, I start like clearing every which way to high heavens. But I wanted to talk about this today because entities are something that I don't know, you either believe in it or you don't. And I know it's one of those conversations. That's definitely weird. It's a weird conversation. Like, let's be honest, it's weird.
I'm just hoping we can leave this podcast as a Yelp review for your hotel. Is that possible? We just post it under Yelp and Google. How was your experience? Well, we had to do a 15-minute podcast about being possessed by the devil, but it was a pretty good hotel. Our hotel has the devils in it. Um, no. I will say this because I've talked to some people on my podcast, some experts, and this guy had this thing that I think about a lot is sometimes when you experience a thought or emotion, you have to ask yourself, is this mine? And I never thought that way because I was always like, this is mine, right? But you're saying basically that there's other things that it could be, right?
This was not a thought. This was
Oh
an
wow.
energy that was in the room and it was not good. In you know, there are so many different energies and sometimes there's people that are in between worlds or they're just hanging out. No, this was like this had an agenda to and it wasn't a good. It wasn't good. It just wasn't good. And we were supposed to stay there the following night and I was like, you know, after the event, we went out to dinner. It's getting late. We come back, and I was just going to leave super early the next morning. So it's now like 8:45, and I'm pushing being up 24 hours. But
Hmm.
I'm like, Jenny, I got to get the fuck out of here. I cannot stay in this hotel another night. So I ended up leaving at 9 p.m. I got home at 1 in the morning. I drank coffee for the first time in 18 years. I did. I was like, I'm not going to make it home.
Well, Kyra, now you're possessed by a different devil.
Okay. I was driving and I was like, I immediately pulled over. The moment I felt like, okay, this is no longer safe, I pulled over to a Tim Hortons and I'm like, okay, we can do one of two things. We can sleep for a little bit in the car or you go get your ass coffee. And I'm like, I just want to get home. So I
Yeah.
chug a coffee. And within like 10 minutes, I'm not joking, I definitely felt like focused. And I'm like now blasting Spice Girls. I made it home. It was like, I felt like I had just gotten 20 hours of sleep in a matter of 20 minutes.
Yeah, so I think for people listening, like what would you tell people then if they experience a really funky energy? Like the best thing to do is to leave, right?
I mean, cord cuttings are always really good. Like I said, the first
Yeah.
thing I immediately turned all the lights on. And I didn't go back to bed. I was at 3:40 in the morning. I was up. So I was wiped, but I couldn't go back to bed. There's no fucking way. Um, cord cuttings and get the fuck out. You gotta go.
Are all entities bad entities? Bad.
No,
Yeah.
no, no, definitely
So
not.
there could be good spirits, right?
But I have some stories. Like I have encountered some things that I'll tell you something that was really crazy. So there was one night, this was, I don't know, maybe 4 years ago. I got up, it was kind of the same thing. It was 2 in the morning. I couldn't sleep. I'm like, oh, I'll just do this meditation. And so I sit down, I have like my eye masks on, and all of a sudden I'm like scared. I just get this feeling of fear that washes over me. And then in my mind's eye, I can see this like snake-like thing come right up to my face
Fuck.
and it shows me teeth and I'm like, God damn it, because I'm like trying to fucking meditate. Okay, now I'm scared. So I do this whole clearing or whatever. The next day I had a call with a woman who does not know me. I've never had a call with her before. It was just some random, I don't even know how I came across her, but I booked this like psychic session with her. one of the very first things, now I don't tell anybody about what happened. One of the
Mm.
very first things that she said to me was, "Did you have an entity show you its teeth in the middle of the night?"
Oh
And
my.
I was like, God damn it. Like there's of course I knew it was real, but then there's this other part of you that wants to be like, you were making this up. So she tells me this and I'm like, fuck my life, you know?
Oh my God. Okay.
So she was basically sharing that because she just was sharing. The point of her saying that to me was like, I just want to affirm how open your channel is. And sometimes you question like the things that you see that are really beyond this world. And she's like, you are actually experiencing these things.
Yeah, because that would be my other question too, is like, what is the difference between a feeling and an entity? Like, how do you know that this is like, I do agree there's definitely tons of places you walk in, you're like, yo, this is a whack vibe. It's how I feel in Staten Island. Totally. The whole place. I want to ask. Most of New Jersey, not all, most. There are good parts of New Jersey. That's true. Newark International Airport.
Well, like think about dogs. Has your dog ever walked like I can walk Henry through a
Yes.
crowd of people and he loves people, but then there's one person and the hair on his back stands up and this dog is alert. Like I'm watching you, like stay the fuck away.
That's such a good example because my dog never loses his shit. And when he does, I'm like, I'm sure that's a terrible person because he would never do that. I've seen him bark. One time a guy was walking by me, I didn't even see it. He barked from my back seat, like all the way across the street at this guy. And I'm like, that dude's probably like a murderer. Like, and then
Yeah.
like what are they seeing is the other question I have, or sensing or feeling, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. Something not good. You know, so I don't know why I'm thinking of this, but my second Dr. Joe event that I went to in 2019, Niagara Falls, I roomed with this woman that I hadn't met. But we like connected on the website. She was looking for a room to share. I'm like, hey, let's share a room. Cool. So we share a room. Well, God, I feel so bad that this happened. Apparently, in the middle of the night, she said that she woke up and I was sitting on my bed, like on the side of my bed, but the edge of it, staring directly at her, just staring at her. She goes, Kyra, I woke up and you're sitting on your bed in the middle of the night staring at me. And you looked at me when I woke up and you said, what are you doing in my room? And she goes, and then you just immediately fell back and went to sleep. And I'm not gonna lie, I was terrified. I'm like, I'm terrified. I don't have an explanation for this. Like,
All I've learned from this podcast is I never want to share a room with you. That's all I know. That's like the number one thing that I learned from this podcast so far is stay away from me. Holy fuck.
well, you know what? It's like the moth to a flame. It is true that sometimes dark energies look for the light because they can feed off of it. And if you are scared, that doesn't help.
So do you think that you did do that?
No, I think something was in the room. And I think that when I started doing, I mean, again, I know for some people this is going to be a very strange conversation, but I'm just going to speak openly. When I
No,
was doing,
I'm talking about, do you think you did that to that girl? Did you really do that?
oh yeah, no, I was awake. Yeah, she didn't make that up. No, I must have been sleep talking, walking. I don't know.
Wow.
What are
Okay.
you doing in my room?
So even when you're sleeping, you're a podcast host. It's fantastic. Hi, I have some questions for you.
But yeah, I've had a lot of interesting things happen.
So someone said, and maybe you did, that Joey Dispenza, that he's seen
Joe
entities.
Daddy?
Joe Daddy, he's seen entities flying off of people at events.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, he has said that before.
Okay. So that's probably something similar then, right?
Well, I think that entities tend to latch on to people who are in a lower vibrational state. It's difficult, like they can't really do that if you're super high vibe. They're not a frequency match to even be in your field. But that doesn't mean they can't mess with you or present themselves. Like that happens.
Okay. And then how do you feel about coffee now?
You know, I gotta be, it was fucking good. I was really upset that it was so good. I really enjoyed that Tim Hortons coffee.
Okay. Yeah, no,
Yeah.
I don't know. I feel like entities are something that I don't know a ton about, but I'm really interested in obviously energy, and vibes are very real, guys. There's no denying it for sure.
Yeah, I could go on for days with the stories that I have, but I won't because a lot of them are actually scary. I mean, of course, I also have some really beautiful stories with like angelic beings and things like that. But of course, it's the scary moments that you tend to remember more. Like when I was living in Ireland at the hotel, there was this evening work, because we had like a loft above the hotel or whatever, and then all the other rooms. And so I went downstairs one night because I was like, I want some pie. It's like midnight. Nobody's up. I'll just sneak into the kitchen. And to get down into the kitchen, you have to pass through the dining room. And on the side, there's a library. And so I opened the door and then I saw this girl. So she wasn't, I wouldn't call her an entity. She was a spirit, but she was dead. She was crossed over, but I could see her. So of course I'm like, fuck no. I run back upstairs. A week later, we have this guy come out because my mom's like, we got to get somebody to clear this hotel. I'm like, you think? This guy comes out and he knows the history of the hotel. And he's like, yeah, just casually, because I didn't tell anybody, but he just casually mentions that there was like a family that was like this young girl passed away living here. And I was like, well, that's her. I've met her.
Oh.
Yeah.
I was hoping that the person you get to clear it was the male exotic dancer from
Everybody wants to be psychic until we have these conversations.
Holy cow, that's crazy. I've never had experience like that. But I think I'm pretty good tuned to energy, but I've never seen things like that.
I think the more open your channel is, the more that you see it, experience it, and sometimes even, like I said, a moth to a flame. Sometimes that can happen as well.
I mean, I have talked about painting on mushrooms for 3.5 hours, but that's a different story, Kyra.
We do need to do an episode on shrooms. I think that's the next one.
Yeah, because I think your story is incredible.
We're going to talk about it. That's going to be the next episode. So when Brendan is on next, tune in. We're going to talk about shrooms. We have a manifestation story we're going to do. And in the meantime, if you are experiencing an entity, go clear yourself. We will pray for you.
Call me. Kyra will show up and stare at you and say, what are you doing in my room? What are you doing? What are you doing in my room? Get out of my room. Yeah, why don't you say that to the entity? Hi, what are you doing in my room?
Oh, I did. I said, you need to get the fuck out of this room.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, but I was terrified. It takes a lot to scare me.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I could tell that you were scared. That sucks. I would have been kind of tough.
Yeah.
Then I would be like, we should go get coffee for sure.
We should. Well, the next night, so like the deciding factor in leaving, like, so obviously I told Jenny the story, and the next night we're in the hotel, like we had just showered, we're getting ready for bed. I'm like, let me be packed and ready because I'm probably going to get up at 5 a.m. and just go. So I put my luggage in my car and I come back up and Jenny's like, Kyra, my light just turned off on its own. I'm like, we're done and we're fucking out of here. And that was it. That was it. I was like, you pack your shit, we're gone. That's it. We were out of there. After she said that, we were gone in 5 minutes.
Oh my God, that's so great. That's amazing.
She's like, should we check out? I'm like, just keep fucking moving. We're out of this hotel.
I love that.
So, all right, everybody, entities, go clear yourself. Do you believe in them? Do you not? I don't know. I don't care what you believe in. It's all good. In fact, it's probably better if you don't believe in them, but you'll believe in them if you experience them. And I'm all for an Archangel Michael clearing.
Yeah. We'll see you at 3 a.m.
We'll see you at 3 a.m. This podcast was brought to you by my international best-selling book, Rich Bitch Money Goals, Becoming the Energetic Match to Wealth, which is available at over 39,000 retailers across the nation. So make sure you pick up your copy today. You can find it in places like Amazon, Target, Indigo, Barnes & Nobles, Walmart, and more.